So good morning students. Today we are going to study about the chapter 1 of unit 3, which is reflection of sound waves. So sound. What is sound? Sound is a form of energy. Sound is a form of energy. So sound is a form of energy which gives us the sensation to hear. And what is how is sound produced? Sound is produced produced by vibrations. Sound is produced by vibrations. Now there are types of waves. Types of propagation. Types of propagation of sound waves. Types of propagation of sound waves. So sound travels in form of waves, and there are two types of waves. One is longitudinal wave, and other is a transverse wave. So what is the difference between a longitudinal and transverse wave? In longitudinal waves, the particles of the medium vibrate in same direction as in the propagation of sound. So if sound is propagating in x direction, then the particles of the air, suppose this is the source of the sound, then the particles of the air, they also vibrate along this same direction, means the particles here become close together. Particles come very close together each other, so they form a compression. Here a compression. After forming a compression, the air next to it gets less dense, so it becomes rarer. So here the particles are rarer. Again the particles are denser and again rarer. So this is a rarefaction. So it becomes, sound travels as a longitudinal wave, forming compression and rarefaction. So this is like the molecules are vibrating, are compressing and relaxing in the direction of the propagation of wave. Next is our transverse wave. What happens in transverse wave? In transverse wave, suppose again the sound is propagating in the x direction, but the particles of the medium they are vibrating in a direction perpendicular to the propagation of sound. So if the propagation is in the x direction, velocity is in the x direction, then the amplitude or displacement is in the y direction. And the maximum displacement, this is maximum displacement. So this maximum displacement of the particle, this is known as the amplitude. So amplitude is the maximum displacement of the particle. Now there is the frequency range. Next is a frequency range. What is frequency range? First of all, what is the frequency? Frequency is number of oscillations in 1 second is known as the frequency. So what is the frequency range? Frequency range is the range of frequencies of sound waves which are audible by human ears. So range audible by humans. So what is this range? This range is from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. From 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, is the range of is the range of frequency which are audible to human beings. Now next is our speed of sound. Students may note down. Next is the speed of sound. What is the speed of sound? So speed of sound depends upon the temperature of the medium and also on the density of the medium. More the density of the medium, more is the speed of the sound. So here are some different speeds in air at 20 degrees Celsius. The speed of sound is 344 meter per second. Similarly, in water, the speed of sound at 20 degree Celsius is around 1400 meter per second. Similarly, in aluminium at 20 degrees Celsius, the speed is 5000 meter per second. So in air it is around 344 meter per second. In liquids it is around 1400 meter per second, and in metals it is around 5000 meter per second. Therefore, as the density of the medium increases, the speed is also increases. Therefore, speed is directly proportional to the density of the medium. For the speed of sound, while we have learned that speed of light is inversely proportional to the density, speed of light is maximum in vacuum or air, and it decreases in the medium as the density of the medium goes on increasing. But in case of sound, it is opposite. The velocity of sound is minimum in the air. In vacuum it is zero, because sound cannot travel in vacuum because it needs a material medium for its propagation. Next we will study about the reflection of difference between sound and light. So difference between sound and light. So here are certain differences. First is, it needs a medium, it needs a material medium, while no medium is needed. No medium is required for propagation of light. Then is the transfer of energy. So this is transfer of mechanical energy, and this is transfer of electromagnetic energy, electromagnetic or EM energy. So it is a mechanical wave. This is a mechanical wave, and this is a electromagnetic wave. This is a electromagnetic wave. Here, as density increases, speed also increases. But in case of light, as the density increases, speed decreases. As the speed of light is maximum in the vacuum, and it goes on decreasing. Next is our reflection of sound. Next is reflection of sound. So suppose this is a source of sound This is a source of sound and there is an obstacle. There is an obstacle. So the sound travels from source to the obstacle. It covers a distance d. It covers a distance d and it reaches the obstacle, and if it has a certain amount of intensity, means it has the required intensity to reach from source to the obstacle, because while the sound is traveling, the energy is getting transmitted from one particle of the medium to the another particle of the medium, but in this process energy is also dissipated in form of air drag or in form of heat. Therefore the energy goes on decreasing, intensity goes on decreasing. But if the intensity is so that it can go from source to obstacle, and also from obstacle to, it gets reflected back from the obstacle to the source, then it covers the total distance is equal to d plus d is equal to 2d. 2d is the total distance covered by the sound after reflection, and velocity of sound is velocity, let v be the velocity of sound, which is equal to around 340 meter per second for air. For air it is around 340 meter per second. So we know that speed is equal to distance upon time. Speed is equal to distance upon time. Therefore 340 meter per second must be equal to 2d upon time. 2d upon time. So this is the formula for reflection of light, where v is equal to 2d by t. V is equal to 2d by t, where d is the distance between the source and the obstacle, and t is the time which the sounds take, or time duration between the reflection of the signal and then the transmission and the reception of the signal. Now there is another phenomena known as echo. What is echo? So we will study echo. Next phenomena is the echo. What is echo? So suppose a person is standing, the person is the source of the sound, and he produces sound, and that sound after traveling a certain distance, it gets reflected by an obstacle, and the sound reaches back to the ears of the source. So the sound reaches back to the ears of the person who has produced it, or the person who was near it. Therefore the person will hear two or more than two sounds, means his sound will be, the word which he has said will be repeated, will be reflected back. That is called the echo. And what is the condition for the echo? Condition for the echo. What is condition for the echo? What is condition for the echo to be heard? So the condition is that human ears cannot detect two sounds which are in which the time interval is less than 0.1 second. If the time interval between two sounds is less than 0.1 second, then our ears will not be able to detect two sounds. So therefore the time between the transmission of the signal and then again when it is received back at the source, that total time must be minimum of 0.1 second. The time must be minimum 0.1 second, and we know speed of sound in air is around 340 meters per second. Therefore, the minimum distance come out to be minimum distance for the echo to be heard, minimum distance between the source and the obstacle. So speed is equal to distance upon time, and time is equal to therefore distance will be equal to speed into time. So it will be equal to and what is this distance? This is 2d, total distance, 2d, total distance between source, from source to obstacle and obstacle to source. So this is 2d. So d will be s into t divided by 2. It will be equal to speed of sound is 340 into 0.1 divided by 2, and this comes out to be 17 meter. So this is the condition for the echo to be heard, that the minimum distance between the source and obstacle must be minimum 17 meters. Now there are certain applications of the echo, so we will study those applications. So applications of echo. Applications of echo. So the first application is determination of speed of the sound. To determine speed of sound. How we can determine the speed of the sound? So we know that speed is equal to distance upon time. So if we know the distance between the source and the obstacle, if we know the distance between the source and the obstacle, and we from here we produce the signal or produce the sound, and then we heard its echo, we hear back its echo, then that time we can monitor that time, that how much time it takes for the sound to travel between 2 points, and what is the distance between the 2 points, and from that formula we can find out the speed of the sound be distance upon time. So in air it comes out to be 340 meter per second. This is one application. Another application is sonar. Or it is also known as sound navigation and ranging. Full form is sound navigation and ranging. What is this phenomena? In sound navigation and ranging, so this is mainly used to detect sometimes it is used to detect the depth of the sea by the ships. So a signal is sent at the bottom of the seabed, and then we hear back the sound. So we give a signal is transmitted, and that signal is heard back, received back, and the time between the transmission and reception of the signal is noted. So for example, if this is a seabed, and here we want to calculate the depth of the sea. So here are a sonar system that consists of a transmitter and another is receiver. So a signal is transmitted, and suppose D is the depth of the ocean or the sea at that point. So the signal gets transmitted, it gets reflected back by striking on the ground, on the base of the sea, and then it is received back. Suppose it is received after t time. It is received after time interval t. So after time interval t, the signal is heard back or received back therefore the depth of the sea, we know speed is equal to distance upon time. So distance is 2d upon time t. From here distance comes out to be velocity into time divided by 2 will be the distance of the depth of the sea at that point. So this is how sonar system works. This is also used by fishermen to detect the presence of the fishes. So fishermen, if there are fishes inside the ocean, if there are fishes, then again a signal is transmitted. The signal then hits the strike the bodies of the fish, a cluster of fish, then it gets reflected back. So the ship can fishermen can also detect the at what depth the fishes are there. These are two applications of the sonar. Another application is ultrasound. Ultrasound is also an application of echo. In ultrasound, what happens? We send ultrasound waves. Ultrasound means which are more than the frequency of 20,000 hertz. Human ears can hear from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, and the sound of frequency less than 20 hertz is the infrasound, and sound of frequency more than 20 hertz, it is known as the ultrasound, more than 20,000 hertz. So in ultrasound also it is used for detection of the diseases in body parts, and it is also used for to monitor the growth of fetus in mother's womb. To monitor the growth of the fetus in the mother's womb. So ultrasound waves which are not harmful for our body or for the fetus as well. So those ultrasound waves are the ultrasound waves are reflected by the solid body parts, and they are reflected back, and from that reflected signal an image of the body is formed, which is an application of the echo. So this is all about our chapter. The last application is it is also used by the bats or dolphins to detect the obstacle in their path. So if any doubt is left, that can be cleared in the class. So note down this, and next chapter will also be uploaded. Our next chapter is vibration. So till then revise this and make note from the board. Thank you.